ni mwema, umwema. Wewe ni mwema. Wewe ni mwema, umwema. Wewe ni mwema. Today I have an encouragement I would want to share. A few months ago, I took my daughter for an appointment. And it was our first time. It was a referral to this specific doctor. And so since we didn't know how things roll in that clinic, we were there by 8:30. To our surprise, we were number 52. And so the waiting began. And we waited and waited and waited. 10, 11. I want to assure you by 11:30, I was convinced that it's time for me to leave. So we discussed with my daughter and she said, actually, it's true. We can just call it a day and go. We can always get another doctor after all. It's not an emergency. And our reasons were valid. But we asked ourselves a very simple question. How comes there are people who don't look like they're agitated like we are? There are people that don't seem to be anxious or worried like we are, or troubled. So we decided, let's just look for a place we can take a cup of coffee as we wait and make our final decision on whether to leave or not. And on coming back, I think only three more people had been seen by this doctor. And I came back, I asked the neighbor who I was seated next to, hebu nikuulize, ushaikuwa hapa before? She told me, yeah, I've been here before. And I asked her, so where do you come from? She said, I'm from 𝗪𝗛𝗪𝗏. The amazing thing is, sometimes when people are seated and waiting, even in a public means, people rarely talk to each other, but when there's something disturbing, people will start a conversation. So I think I was at that place where I just decided to start this conversation. So she said, I'm from 𝗪𝗛𝗪𝗏. I was like, 𝗪𝗛𝗪𝗏? Yeah. She told me I had to leave at 6 to be here by 9. Well, I didn't know which part of 𝗪𝗛𝗪𝗏, so I don't understand 𝗪𝗛𝗪𝗏 very well. So I said, okay, you came all the way to Nairobi to see this doctor? She said, yes. But she seemed so settled in her heart, so peaceful. And her child was younger than my daughter, by the way. And so I started asking myself, what am I not getting here? I decided to observe. So anyone going in was coming out looking radiant, looking so happy, seeming to have some sense of renewed hope and, life in them. I was like, man, I need to have this experience. At that time, I'm just quiet, just watching until my daughter asked me, Mom, are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm okay. Now, this one disrupted me completely. So, a lady was carrying very young babies. I think they were just about 2 or 3 months old. She walked in with her nanny, and they practically, quote unquote, jumped the queue. Okay. Let me tell you, I was not amused at all. Sorry, I'm just being real. I know someone might say, oh, you should have had a human heart, but the young babies could not allow her to wait in the queue. And there I was like, nah, I need to go, we need to go, I need to go. And I get in, probably I'll ask the doctor, do you know how many people are here outside? You just finish up with us. We need to be reasonable, we need to be. So I was like, nikiingia ndani, I'll let her know that let's do this thing fast and we get going. Right there, those are the things that were rushing through my mind. Fast forward, tulifikiwa. Na wakati tulifikiwa, we got to see this mama and she was so ready to listen to us without any rush. I remember at some point I mentioned to her and said, and there's so many people outside here waiting. And she said, when it's your turn, I need to give you all the attention you deserve and you need. So I was like, okay, that's interesting. And so we took our time. We gave our history, our genesis, our troubles, our concerns. She did her self-examinations for herself. And she gave her recommendations. And she prescribed the medicine she needed to prescribe. And when we left that place, we equally left with a smile. Guess what? All our anxiety, our agitation, our anger was swept away. So much swept away. Because of how much she gave all the attention, the focus to us. I don't know what you've been waiting for. Probably you're looking at the biological clock and it's ticking. That's a fact. That's a fact we cannot rule out. You had dreams, you had ambitions. Because every woman dreams and visions of being probably a mother, being a wife at some point. And you're wondering, it's another year. We are almost approaching that season where family meetings begin in December. And the questions will start rolling. And you're wondering, okay, God, what exactly is happening? Yet I have made my request known to you. Probably you needed to begin and open a business and you had everything in place in terms of the structure and the planning. But then with the finance bill and everything and the prices skyrocketing and the business world seeming to be disrupted, you're seeing like this vision is slowly fading away. Or probably you're at the place where you knew you would graduate this year for those that are in campus. But then all of a sudden, a few things here and there happen. You have 2 or 3 units remaining that you didn't know about. Probably some marks are missing, a few interruptions here and there. And you're wondering, God, but why? This is what I have to let you know. This is my encouragement for you. Remember that lady I talked about who I was sitting next to was from 𝗪𝗛𝗧? When she knew I was becoming a little bit agitated and uncomfortable, she told me, Mama, tulia, utafikiwa. And this is what I need to challenge you today. Guess what? Tulia, utafikiwa. The same way nilifikiwa. And all my worries and troubles seemed to have disappeared the minute the doctor gave me all the attention. Your time, your turn is coming. Just hang in there. Number 2, there are those that will overtake you. Remember the lady who walked with the babies? There are those that will overtake you. Probably your friends, your peers, your classmates. You come across them, they are now driving the 4-wheel vehicles. You don't even have a bicycle. It's okay. Take heart. Keep trusting. Keep hope alive. Because one day, you will get to have an encounter with the Master. And you know what the amazing thing is? Once you meet the Master, he takes away your troubles. He takes away your worries. And he gives you the joy. He makes you forget all your waiting, your agony in waiting, your anxiety in waiting, because he is faithful. And he is able to give you all the attention that you need. In your waiting, remember, when you feel like giving up, this is my point number 3. Talk to someone. Have a support system. For me, this lady that said she comes from 𝗪𝗛𝗧, I am so sorry I never got to know her name. God bless you wherever you are. If this video comes across you, I am so grateful. Her words seemed to pump fresh blood into my system. And when I felt like just packing and going and calling it a day, I remembered what she told me, that this is one of the best doctors. And that's why I'm patient enough to come all the way from 𝗪𝗛𝗧 to come and see her. And she told me, relax, utafikiwa. Look for a proper support system. Get to share with them that this is what I'm going through. This is my frustration. And I'm feeling like giving up. And I'm sure if you have the right support system, they'll cheer you into the place of don't give up, don't quit, just hang in there. The challenge is if you talk to the wrong people, they'll actually make you accelerate your quitting. They'll make you accelerate your quitting because they'll paint the picture and keep magnifying what you're saying. If you tell them I'm feeling so frustrated, they'll go, by the way, it's true. And then they'll tell you, no, and they'll look, yeah, I think this thing we better drop it. This thing, there's no need of having any more dreams, any visions, any ambitions. Have you ever come across such kind of people who just crush your spirit further and further and further? Those are the people you need to be careful and run away from. In Habakkuk chapter 2, the Bible says, the vision is for an appointed time. It speaks of the end, and it will not prove to be false. That which you're waiting upon the Lord for will not fail, will not be a false promise, because our God does not give false promises. Our God does not give false promises. He is faithful. So every time you feel like quitting, remind yourself that siku moja nitafikiwa. Yes, there are those that will bypass you. It is okay. Siku moja utafikiwa. Stick to your lane. Run the race well. Seek support system when you feel like giving up and quitting, because in just the right time, God will manifest himself to your situation. And guess what? He'll put a smile to your face. We always talk of the story of Sarah and Abraham. I know many times you probably might have heard about it. But you know what? The reality is, if Sarah was patient enough, imagine having heard clearly what God had said, and then you become very impatient, and then you go like, I didn't think this is what God really meant. Probably he meant something different. Probably he meant to fulfill it a different time. And so let me come in and try to assist God. Now there's that fourth version of us trying to assist God. You know, when I walked in, I tried to tell the doctor, kuna watu wako pale nje wanangoja na ni wengi. But she told me, when it's your time, relax. Watafikiwa hata wao. But I have to give you all the attention that you deserve and you need. I pray that none of us will be found trying to sort out things on their own abilities. Because guess what? Our own efforts and abilities will be very frustrating. And that's where we will quit with a bitter taste in our mouths. Because God takes a backseat and watches you as you try to sort out your issues and roll in your game. Then what is the end result? Total frustration, heartaches, and pains. I want to end with this. If you have to wait, wait, and wait well, because he is faithful, he that promised. God bless you, even as you wait.